What time tomorrow night, Michael?
Okay, we are live. This is a test of a Chromebook equipped with only 2 gigabytes of RAM. We're starting with the Logitech C920 camera to show the quality. I've tried to get as many people into the film strip as possible to show how that might possibly affect things. So far, there have been no glitches in the green room. There were no glitches in the earlier test I did today. It looks like if you want to do a Hangout and have just a Hangout machine by itself, a tiny little Chromebook can work. Now, I've got all you, as most of you know, I've got, 5 computers sitting right here. They're all shut down except for this, so as not to drain the bandwidth. And like I said, this is with the C920. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Chromebooks, you can't download and install programs on them. It is strictly if they will take apps that Google has approved, and they will take extensions that Google has approved. But Google controls what you can put on your Chromebook. You don't get a choice of a whole plethora of programs like you do with Windows. If you are absolutely hooked up with a Windows program that you have to use, then you're stuck with Windows. You can't use a Chromebook to use that program. With that said, Google offers you a world of apps and extensions. I don't use a lot of them because mainly I use Hangouts, and most of the Hangouts don't require those. If you're using Google Docs or Google Drive, that's something different. YouTube. With that said, like I said, this is the C920 camera. The only control software you have is none. The only way you can control what the camera sees when hooked up to a Chromebook is to either move your computer like this so that you adjust your field of vision, or you can manually move the camera itself like that. And you're stuck with that. That's what you get. They're simple, they're easy, they're inexpensive, and you can do almost everything you can do with a regular Windows computer. I have no trouble getting by except for my genealogy program, which will only run on Windows, unfortunately. I said we were going to do some testing. This is with the C920. Now I'm going to change cameras, and I'm going to go to the internal camera and let you see what that looks like. And that's what the internal camera looks like. I'm sure you can see the difference in lighting, if nothing else. It's got a narrower field of vision. It's closer up if you need that. Since I'm on this camera, I can now, if I can find the cord, show you. We're going to disconnect the C920, and we will connect the C525. Okay, and now we'll go up, and we will change to the C525. And that is what the C525 looks like. I think you'll all agree the C920 does a better job. Although this isn't bad. And if I play with the positioning again, I can get all of me in like that. Now, those are basically the 2 tests I wanted to see. I wanted to have people in the film strip. I wanted to change the camera, see if it would take the change. Basically, I wanted to see if it would work. I have got the Ethernet plugged in. Now, I'm going to try one more thing, and that's going to be a screen share. And we'll go over here, and we'll say share this, and we will say present to everyone. Now, can everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's then we've got enough bandwidth to handle screen shares. Now, some people, I've noticed it's been reported that they have trouble when they come back out of screen share, that they lose their camera and they lose their audio. That doesn't appear to be the case here.
No, seems fine.
Yeah, looks good. Okay. Well, we've tested everything that I wanted to. Oh no, there's one other test, and that is we are now going to disconnect the Ethernet, and it still appears to be working okay. Now, if I go back up here and change, I'm going to change to the internal camera again so that I can unplug this and put the 920 back in, because I just think that looks better. I like it. It's got a better picture, a clearer picture.
Andrew, while you're doing that, Sheila Strover's asking, what is your current upload speed? Did you happen to check it or no? Or
Hang on, and I can check. We'll go over here and we'll go to.
This will be good since you're on Wi-Fi too, so that'd be good.
We'll go to test my net and we hit enter. And we'll say test my internet. And we'll say combined. And it's testing. It's testing. Okay. My download is 66.2 Mbps, and my upload is 11.7. So that's not bad for wireless, you know.
Yeah, I'm surprised the images is as good as it is with that. I mean, that's pretty good actually.
Yeah, you know, I'm quite frankly, I'm surprised, because that is a test that I forgot to do earlier today when I was, testing the thing, trying it out. I meant to do that and didn't, and I forgot about that. So yeah, but my Wi-Fi is pretty good indeed. But I just, I feel safer. There's no guarantee, because now, like I say, I've got everything shut down. The only other thing going on, pardon me while I try and get this Ethernet plugged back in. The only other piece of equipment running in the house right now is my sister on her laptop in the living room. Other than that, we're fine. To me, from what I've seen and what I've tested, it looks like it is perfectly feasible to run a Hangout On Air from a Chromebook with only 2 megabytes of memory. Yeah. And that is at testmy.net, which is a more accurate thing than speedtest.net. Speedtest.net uses Java. They tend to be more inaccurate. This is the one that Terry Britton recommends if you're going to test your up and download speed. So, has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, invite Lon McClure in, because he wants to see if we can get more people.
Is Lon there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, he just wants to see it with more people in and stuff like that, see if it affects anything. And what did you say that was? I'll put that in a post as well and bring it up on screen if...
testmy.net.
Testmy.net.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, have you tried the business hangouts with this yet?
Not yet, but I don't think that it would, interfere with anything, basically.
No, it's just an app inside. It's the same thing as opening Hangout Toolbox or Comment Tracker while inside a Hangout. It's just like having an app inside, so I think it would be fine.
Okay, great.
There's Richard.
And Andrew, this is the Chromebox, right? Not Chromebook, Chromebox, right?
No, this is being run on the Chromebook.
Oh, Chromebook. Okay.
Yeah, this is the Chromebook.
Now,
Yeah,
what's
but
the difference? Because I don't know.
Okay, the Chromebook is just like a little laptop computer.
Okay.
Okay.
Inside a Hangout, it's just like having an app inside, so I think it would be fine.
Okay.
That Chromebox is a little 4x4 by 2 inch. It's just a box with a CPU and some memory in it, and a bunch of USB ports and ports to attach things to.
Right.
Yeah. It's there's a in one of the posts in the community I listed about 6 different Google communities that cover Chromebooks, and one of them is dedicated solely to Chromeboxes. That Chromebox is a little 4x4, and I'm getting a horrible echo from somewhere.
Me too. I'm gonna mute me. I don't think it's me, but.
It ports to attach things to.
Right.
Yeah. There's a in one of the posts in the
Lon, do you have it playing in the background?
about
That might be what we're hearing.
community that cover Chromebooks.
Can you hear us, Lon?
It's solely to
Yes.
Chromeboxes.
Can you
Okay.
turn whatever you have on in the background off, because we're hearing that in the production here or in the Hangout.
Somewhere.
Me too.
Do you have it playing somewhere else?
I don't think it's me, but.
It ports to attach things to.
Yeah, I'm on a headphone here.
There's a
Well, you have it playing in the background, obviously, too, because we're hearing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if you're in the film strip and got the playing, if you've got the event page open, you need to go up to that little video box that's in the event page, right on the bottom, and you'll see you can mute that video. That's the one you want to mute, and then you'll be heard in here, but not on the video. Oh, Sheila, that's good to know. I was trying to get 10 people in here, but apparently there's not that many people available this time of night.
You can pin that on screen if you want to. And maybe you are, I don't know, but if you wanted to, you could.
Well, I did have you pinned.
Okay, good. Let's make sure.
Yeah. It's my next thing is going to try and use this in a business hangout thing probably sometime later this week. When it came up the other day, and this whole thing came up because I was in a thing with Ronnie, and I just tried the Chromebook just to see what would happen. And then during the whole thing, when it got over, I noticed that the Ethernet hadn't been plugged in, and I hadn't had a minute's trouble during the whole hangout. So I thought, okay, if it's that good, we need to test it. Maybe we can actually have just a machine dedicated to nothing but Hangouts. And if that's all if that's all you want to do, the little Chromebook works great because it's portable. It can go anywhere. If you've got a good Wi-Fi, we just proved that works. That it seems to me that it's a win-win. There's no downside to it unless you want to run Windows programs, and if you do, then you won't be interested in a Chromebox to begin with. So I think unless somebody's got something else they want to test. Now, Michael, I got a question for you. What happens if we all hit the Business Hangout logo?
As long as you hit it first, you're the host.
Yeah, but it would still keep recording on this one, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't start. It wouldn't start a new thing.
No, I won't start a new thing.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hit it first and go into a business hangout, and we'll see what happens here. It's downloading, 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 downloading. Okay, now we'll take us off of presentation mode and take us here. And that's what it looks like in the business hangout. And if I do this and take away the chat and thing, I get a very large area. In fact, almost too large. I don't want that wall showing. Guns N' Roses is not part of this test. Okay. Now that we're here, somebody's got something interesting. Oh, okay. I'm going to try a screen share here and see what. Now I know that's probably going to be a little hard to read because the type's so small. But that's what Test My Net. That's what, when you go over there, that's what the actual results look like. It gives you a whole bunch of stuff now. So now, if I'm right and we hit stop and come out of this, we should have no trouble. Okay, it comes back. Apparently, Darius had posted in the Business Hangout community that apparently screen share, there is a problem with the Samsung 2 Chromebook with the losing the camera and the audio once you come out of screen share, but it seems to be confined to that particular model. From what he just posted that within the last 3 hours, I think. So now I've done my spiel. Anybody got anything or questions or want to try anything?
Did you say you went into Business Hangouts, Andrew?
Yeah, I just went over to the side and clicked the Business Hangout logo.
So for us to see it, we would have had to have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Did you do that, Michael?
Yeah, that is correct, and he's actually in by himself. We're not in with him.
Okay.
Because Sandra and I both clicked it as well.
Yeah.
And we're in one by ourselves.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
it's separate.
Okay. Because I did not click it, but I did not see Business Hangouts on the screen at all.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But so if I had clicked Business Hangout, gone in, gotten the link up there, and then sent it, in the chat box, you all could have seen it, click that link, and come into the same Business Hangout I would have been in, right, Michael?
I believe so, yes.
But what would have happened to this Hangout? It would, like you say, it would have been within this Hangout, right?
Well.
Yeah. Well, understand this is an app.
Right.
All Business Hangout is an app. It's the same thing as open up Hangout Toolbox.
Right.
Nothing changes with the Hangout.
You had just said that, and I remembered you saying that when you
No
started.
problem. No problem.
Yeah, because as soon as I closed the Business Hangout app over there, I was right back in this one. Basically, it changed the interface, but not the Hangout itself, because the Hangout itself is still being recorded to the same YouTube link that it started with. Because I didn't start it as a Business Hangout, so it doesn't have a Hangout that YouTube doesn't have a link that Business Hangout tried to set up for it. If that makes any sense.
It does. Interesting. I never thought of it that way. Sometimes you have to be in these things too, for ideas to say, oh, for the light bulb to go off.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes I'm in them 3 or 4 or 5 times before the light bulb comes on.
I've done that.
Yeah. Well, Lon, how are you doing? You got any questions, or can we help you with anything?
I'm doing fine right now. Just enjoying watching and learning a little bit.
Okay.
What model is that, Acer, Andrew?
This particular one is the first generation Acer 710. Now there are newer Acer models out there. There's this Acer 720, and then they've got the Acer 720p that's got a touch screen. And the newer Acer models, you can get 4 megabits of RAM. They've got 2 gig and 4 gig, and Acer even now has the i7 8 gig if you want to go up that high. But once you get there, then you're talking real computer prices. You're talking anywhere from $600 to $800, depending on whether it's Acer or Dell or Hewlett Packard or something. Once you get into that i7 and 8 gigs of RAM, you're talking some money.
Is that a Chromebox or a Chromebook?
Okay, that's the Chromebox. The Chromebook, the Acer 720, can come with a maximum, I think, of 4 gigabytes of RAM. And I think the most expensive model I've seen on that is like $349 or $379. And it's hard to tell because the prices change almost daily.
Yours looks pretty good for being, for only having the 2.
Yeah, I'm quite thrilled with it, because like I say, usually this thing lives over by my bed, and the only thing I ever use it for is to watch Netflix on while I'm in bed. This is really the first Hangout experience, except for the test I did earlier today and that one I was in with Ronnie the other day. It's only been used in Hangouts now 3 times.
That's what I use my tablet for, my 10-inch tablets for watching Netflix or looking at pictures or something so I can see them bigger rather than my phone.
Very interesting, Andrew.
Well, I think I have proved what I set out to prove, and that was you can do it if you want to do it. And it's particularly for people that aren't trying to run a business through it or do real high-level professional. As long as it's with friends and they're doing private tutorials or something, this would be great. I mean, there's no reason to go through a whole lot of expense.
Hey, Michael, just out of curiosity, do you think that would work if you used your phone, as a hotspot?
That's so. It just depends. I mean, I have to say, you would want, if you're going to use it as a hotspot, your phone.
Yeah.
You definitely want 4G. 3G is just too inconsistent when it comes to that. Now, doing a straight-up Hangout from your phone, I mean, if someone starts a Hangout and you join in, like we do the mobile things, I suggest no hotspot. Just go with whatever your service provides, and it seems to work. It seemed to work for me out in the middle of a baseball field with nothing but that, and that was 3G. That worked fine. But as far as a hotspot's concerned, I have used my son's Chromebook, or he has used it in the car while driving. While driving down to destination, I had my hotspot on, and he used the Wi-Fi on his Chromebook, and it seemed to do just fine. So that was driving down the road. So we were hitting different towers and things like that as we were going. So I think it's going to be spotty wherever you are. Do you know? Does that make sense based on the towers and the connection you have and things like that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have watched a Hangout from a car. From a cell phone while moving in a car, and it was said during that Hangout in the comments that if you go over 50 miles an hour, it affects your reception, and the phone kept going out and all that stuff. They actually did lower their speed to around 50 miles an hour, and then they were steady from then on out. I was amazed at that.
The other thing you could possibly check. Now, I haven't tested this, but I mean it's interesting you brought that up. Is while in a Hangout, bring the bandwidth down a little bit, just to make it keep up with it a little bit too. So That's just an idea. I just not thought of it, but.
Mhm.
My stupid ISP doesn't go over 1 megabit upload, so I can't ever get over that.
Yeah.
I understand it oh so well. My mother-in-law, we tried to do the same thing and could not get it to, so she had to think about another company. But even that, in the area she's in, she couldn't get it. So.
Well, I can switch companies, but the only drawback is that there's other people in the family that have different emails, and they don't want to change theirs. So the way it is now, it works fine for everybody. And I've even been in business hangouts with Andrew, and it's never dropped me at all.
Yeah, I keep hearing about bandwidth, and then I think about you, Richard, and I just don't know how you do it.
Yeah, it comes out to like almost 6 download and 0.65 upload.
Yeah, it's that 0.6 upload that just kills me. Yeah. Well, people, unless anybody's got anything, I'm going to at least stop the broadcast because, unless Sheila's got something she wants to ask, and quite frankly, Sheila knows much more about Chromebooks than I do because she uses hers day in and day out for almost everything. And if you really got questions about Chromebooks, she's the one to go to.
Yeah, here's the last two things she mentioned was that comment there, and then this one, talking about her Acer and cost.
I was wondering what she had. She has an Acer C710.
Oh yeah, if I had it to do over, if I hadn't bought my Chromebook already, I'd definitely get the 720 with the 4 gigs of RAM. To me, that would be a normal use, Chromebook. I personally don't like the touch screens that much because as much as I'm on, I don't want to spend all day with my arm extended like this. Sooner or later it's going to get so tired it wants to drop off. I'd much rather have it resting on the desk and using my fingers. But that's just me.
I wonder, does that one that she has, Sheila, if you hear this, does it have the Ethernet connectability? Because yours does, obviously, Andrew, because you did it.
Uh-huh.
I'm just wondering if hers has the Ethernet capability, because I know some of them don't. Some models do not. And that's one thing that I would recommend if you have the opportunity, just because it, I think, help in certain situations.
I think it does, but I'm not sure. The only one that I absolutely know for certain that does not, because I looked at it, was the Hewlett-Packard 14, and it does not have a Ethernet thing, which I just can't imagine a computer being built without one. Wi-Fi is great and everything, but it is not that stable, it's not that reliable, and it's not that available in some places. I can't imagine a manufacturer making that decision because it doesn't cost that much to put an Ethernet port in. You can put one in a computer for less than $5. It's just a little piece of metal. But then that's the reason I'm not running Fortune 500 companies either, I guess. So.
She says also go for a 13-inch screen if you can.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have, Andrew?
Well, it depending on what you want, what you're planning to do with it. Like if I was buying a Chromebook just to hold Hangouts on, yes, I'd go for the 13-inch with 4 gigabytes of RAM. That should get any normal Hangout done. If I'm not looking for real professional quality like Dan McDermott Productions or something, But if somebody wants that level of Hangout, then they're not talking about Hangouts anyway. They are talking about video productions, Wirecast and that type of thing. They're not talking about the Google Plus Hangout platform itself, because quite frankly, my personal opinion is you will never reach TV level production values with Google's Hangout On Air. At that point, you want to go to the YouTube live streaming or something because it's got much more capabilities to it. And it can get you a much more professional output than Google Hangout On Air can. And that's not knocking Google Hangout On Air. I mean, it's free and it's great for, the general population. But if you're looking at doing actual TV-type productions, you want to be looking at a higher level. Or at least in my opinion, you do.
There's her answer. It has no Ethernet slot, but I use a USB to Ethernet connector, which costs a couple of dollars. Which that's good to know because some things you don't know whether it'll connect to those things.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to know. So. But that would definitely be something to test as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because used to there were no Ethernet to USB connectors.
Well, not even that. I'm talking about the Chromebook since it has no real hard drive for it. It's very dependent on certain things like you can't attach. A good example is the C920 camera. You can plug it in, you can use it, but you can't do anything with it. You can't download software with it and things like that. So all those things when you're buying anything like that is to consider that there's probably not going to be any software to download with it. It's just going to have to be able to work is the key. So.
That's going to be my next big test is connecting an external hard drive to the Chromebox or the Chromebook. Yeah.
There's Edward with a response there as well.
Okay. Apparently, it looks like everybody's moving to not having Ethernet. Well, I'm always behind the times in some cases anyway. I like the tried and true. And just because I've got a great Wi-Fi connection today doesn't mean it's going to be here tomorrow,
Hey, Michael or Andrew, either one, have you guys seen that bracelet thing that projects the screen on your arm?
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen it, yes. And as a stocking stuffer toy that you might use and then set aside 6 months later, it's great. I can't see anybody making use of it every day for a year. I mean, there are certain things that you don't need a computer for. You don't need a computer on your arm. I mean, that's just me, but I'm sorry. Now if I was 16, I might feel differently. Yes, Michael, I see that grin.
And Sheila was kind enough to put the link, which I don't think you can see, but no. We'll have to put that out there. So, she did. She put it in as a post, so that's good, in the event, which takes you to the connector that she bought and uses, so that's good. Good to know.
Yeah, that's... Sheila's real good about posting links if something is ventured. She's immediately out there looking for it, trying to find it and throw it in so people have access to it. And I, for one, appreciate that a whole lot. Because I'm not that good at I can find them, I just can't find them quickly enough to post while they're still being talked about. Well, to our visitors out there, I'm going to stop the broadcast now because I think we've covered pretty much everything. If you all want to come into the film strip and chat after the broadcast stops, just let me know and I'll bring you in. I have a feeling that our friend in England, rather than coming into chat, may be going to bed because it's a little late over there. And Sheila, I do appreciate you staying up and watching. I want you to know that. And next time I will schedule for a more European-friendly time. I really will. Bye, everybody.